Okay, good morning, guys. Afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you're seeing this from. Working out in the shop today. Thought I'd give you a little bit of a shop update, and then I do have a project going on that I thought I'd share a little bit of anyway, that I've already started on. Haven't been videoing a whole lot of stuff here lately, just because it's been so busy getting ready for winter, and I've been trying to just get stuff cranked out. So I'll show you some pictures of some of the projects going on here in the shop. Been working on the Sheldon lathe, of course, getting paint on there, getting pieces cleaned up and put back together, and actually I'll be working on it a little bit later this afternoon. I think I'm going to try and get most of the headstock back together. But anyway, I've been making progress there. There is some pictures of the guards painted up and things like that. There's also a picture of my rendition of a little Kingway tool, which was somebody else's idea, a home shop machinist project that I don't have the level set on it right now, but I've got the basic framework's done, and I've used a level in this lathe bed up a little bit, which is a whole nother story in itself. But anyway, I still have to build the sweep tool for that. So if there's any interest in that, leave me a comment below and we'll see. Maybe I'll video a little bit of that. That's going to happen here probably in the next week or so, that I'll be building that. I've got all the parts for it. I just haven't taken the time to start building it, start putting it all together. So I'm working on a set of vise stops for on the milling machine vices, and I've got two of these smaller, I think they're a 4-inch vise is what they are. So I use those both on the CNC mill and on the Geo 755, and I use those interchangeably. And I've never built vise stops for those. I've got vise stops built for the larger vise, and I just haven't gotten around to doing it and decided it was time. So my rendition's pretty close to what Joe Piezinski's put on his for his CNC stuff. So I've already got the bodies built and the ends turned that bolt onto the back of the vise. Anyway, I'll show you that when we get to it. So I didn't show any lathe work on that just because I've got so many Sheldon parts for this other lathe stacked down the aisleway kind of in front of my Sheldon, and I don't have room to get the camera back there. So anyway, it's all just standard turning anyway, not a big, nothing you haven't seen before. So we got that going on. The little Atlas milling machine that I've had parts for to build the production mill out of, I've gotten the main casting stripped down. I've got coat of paint on the stand. Main casting, like I say, I've got stripped down and got it sitting here. I'll throw a picture of that up there. I've got the headstock and the outer guard are in the electrolytic rust removal tank right now. So we're peeling the paint and the rust off of those. So probably by tomorrow I'll be pulling those out. So I'm making progress on that a little bit at a time. There again, trying to get things kind of consolidated so I don't have parts here, parts there, parts someplace else. I've been busy building parts to go back on the website, restock stuff. Here is about 24 blanks for 6-inch Atlas vice jaws. They're all ready to be tumbled and go through the bluing tanks for the next time I run bluing. I'm not quite out of stock on these yet, but we're trying to get ahead of the game a little bit here. And the other parts that I've got going on right now as far as machined parts is we're working on some arbor drivers for the Atlas milling machine. I've had these in, I've offered these for quite some time, and I'm out of stock of them now. So here's blanks for 24 of those. As I get time over the next week or two, I'll be machining those out on the lathe. The one on top there is the one that actually I run on my milling machine. So I've got the prints for these, and of course they're readily available. But so I urge you guys to build your own for your machines if you've got the equipment to do it. But it's one thing that I do offer. These will get machined out, and we'll have them on the website again. They'll once they're machined, they go through the bluing tanks, and we'll have those going. So one more thing that hopefully I'll have enough of a inventory and stock of these that I won't have to produce them for a while, and I can stay ahead of the game as we catch up on these things. The Logan turret lathe that I've said several times before that I've got tucked away in the back, I've got it pulled out now, got it started cleaning it up. I've got the drive system mounted back again, got the phase converter hooked up to it and everything. It's actually functional, although right now I'm just cleaning it up. I actually shot a little video of that the other day, but I haven't taken the time to edit it. We'll get back to that. That's a project that's been sitting there on the back burner too, and every time I get to working on one project, why it brings out 3 or 4 other projects. So the Logan lathe, I don't have to have it running right now, but I've said I wanted it running, so I got things cleaned up to where I can get to it. One of the future projects for that will be building a bar feeder for it. So I haven't been able to track down a bar feeder, you know, a factory bar feeder that goes on that. I've seen a couple of them over the years, but you don't see them very often. So I got the system pretty well figured out. So we'll be producing parts for that hopefully in the future. Working on my index centers for the milling machine. So we'll see some of that here directly. There again, I kind of stalled out on that because I wanted other projects going on to do that with. So there's lots of that stuff happening. The grown-up corn tool and cutter grinder, the motor for it is sitting over here. I've got a Baldor 3rd horse 3400 RPM motor that I'm going to set up on that. So that's going to be being worked on here real directly again now that the motor's here. So I can start fitting up the mounting for that. We'll get the spindle built and make some more progress there. So a couple of the projects that are in the works here, and part of them I'll get to before I get some of these other finished, because I need them, or I feel like I need them to be doing other projects. So that's kind of what's going on. I don't know that I've got anything else really happening. The shaper set up, I've got a couple little projects for it that it'll be being worked on. We're not going to see too much more progress or too many parts being built on the other Atlas milling machine, because I've pulled some parts off of there to pull dimensions and patterns off of to go on this other mill. So all that stuff going on. So anyway, we'll turn around and get the camera set up over here at the mill. I've got the main body, or one of the main bodies, already set up, and all I've got left to do is basically mill work on these. There's a little bit of cleanup work on the lathe just to radius the edges and everything. The main portions of them I've got to this stage, and I've already done the turning. Dimension wise, I've got my little drawing right. Dimension wise on the vise itself, I've got 3 3/4 from here to here are the dimensions I had to come to. Hole spacing 2 17/32. This is 7/8 stock is what this actually is, and it's stainless. It's the stainless that I got when I started on the Kingway tool. It was a piece of stainless that was available that I got as surplus from my local supplier, and it was relatively cheap. So that's why it was all made out of stainless steel. This is part of that material, 7/8 square stock, and it'll work just fine for this. I've taken my round dimensions are going to be 5/8 both on that and on the arms that come out. The way this is going to work is this is my little drawing here. There's another square block that's going to come off of here on there, set screw here, another hole coming out here. This is where my other 5/8 rod is going to come out, and that'll be the actual stock. All I've got left to do is drill and countersink the holes in this part, and these are M6 screws. They're metric, so I'm leaving them metric. I normally would still work in imperial, but the screws that are already mounting the vise jaws onto the vise are 6mm. So we're going to keep it simple. We're going to use the same Allen key for all of them, and that way we don't have to worry about different tooling. Keep it universal. So basically, all I'm going to do is I'm going to drill and countersink here and here on both of these pieces. Then we'll go back and drill our 5/8 hole here and here, and then a pinch screw on both of them. And then this will be the stock the piece for the stock itself. It'll get drilled in one end for M6, have a 1/4 inch hole through there so I can use 1/4 inch rod for the stop itself that comes off, and then we'll have to build those. I haven't even worried about that yet. I figure if I get this portion of it done, why then we can go back and cut material as necessary once we get the rest of it fitted up on the vise. really zero off this end doesn't matter because we're going to come up to our first center or first line. We'll use that as a 0, and then we'll go out to our dimension, which is a 2.5312. Stainless steel, you don't want to work hard in your stainless. There, I don't know what grade this is. 5312. We'll go back and countersink these. I'm just countersinking these with a 13/32 drill bit. I'm not going to worry about that little bit of bevel for these. We could go back and put a flat bottom on it and screw around and stuff, but for this application, I do not believe it matters. We are going to slow it down though, and just see if we can't work our way through here. And we want to go 1/4 inch deep once we get down here. Let me go just a little bit. Okay, and this is not a critical, just so we're down below. We got lots of material here. We're going to go just so our flat is there, or we've started cutting on the outside. I'm going to 0 that, and we're going to go 1/4 inch deep. There's the first one. And I'm just working off my digital readout here. We've used this as our stop right now, which is what I've been using, which is why we're building the proper stop here. So let's just flip it over. I guess we really should have taken the time to check and verify that the dimensions were right. But I guess that ship has sailed now. And that's the way it'll set in there, just like that. And we will get a little bit longer screw for here. Okay, while we're right here, screw holes in the back are the same as the front. So let me grab a pair of screws here. Now this should be universal. It should go to either side equally well. You know, we can put it on, it'll sit back here like this, just like that, although it could be flipped over and go just like that. But it should be exactly the same. And we'll set up a set of ball end hex for this. But that part will screw on the back. Now see, we're overhanging a little bit here, so I'll shave this side back so that we're flush, pretty well flush on the back here. And then I'm going to bevel it in the lathe just like this edge is, to just smooth it down a little bit. If we've still got any sharp edges, we'll knock them off. But yeah, I think that's going to work. We're going to do a rinse and repeat on the other one exactly the same way. And then, other than just polishing it up, breaking the edges a little bit more, and just cleaning it up in general, why this part of it will be done for both vises. Make sure I haven't actually lied to you, that the screw holes are the same front and back. Well, there's the back part of our vise stop. I looked at several different style vise stops, you know, and I guess you can utilize several different ones. This one for now seemed to be the most compact, fairly easy to make and consistent stop, fairly heavy duty and everything. At some point I'll probably build at least one that sits down in the T-slots and works there. But for now, that'll be a nice setup. This is a stubby 5/8 here. Let's see what this is going to act like. This may be too big here. All right, we got a little bit of screwing around here. So I'm going to have to go back and cut one more piece here. I oversized one of my holes way too much. So what we're going to do, I found out better off just not reaming it all. I'll probably have to go back and hand ream them a little bit just to clean up the burr in them. But we're just going through and punching our holes, except we need to get it in the right range here. And I could actually just run these as a production run, but I only got 3 more holes to drill, or two after this one. So we'll just go ahead and swap them out. There's no depth or anything. We're just running all the way through. So the little bit extra time it'll take me for gear changing and everything. Plus I have to go and cut one more blank. So just run them out this way. Alright, let me go lay out for the last drilled and tapped holes, and we can finish these parts up. Okay, we're going to run a number 8 drill, which is 196 for a, well, number 9 is what they call for. Since we're running stainless, we're going to run a number 8 drill. And for you metric folks, you know better than I do about what your metric taps or drill and tap size is. We'll do a number 8 for this, and then we'll do a probably just a 1/4 inch as a clearance. I think we'll go like 5 off of there. I think that's going to be plenty close for. Ooh, almost too big. And we can tap these by hand because that's not going to be that critical. We'll go ahead and tap them, then we'll take and first we'll probably go to the lathe, just bevel these corners just a little bit, just to get them out of the way, and then we'll go out and split them in the bandsaw. Alright, well, we're just going to tap these real quick, hopefully. I'll run them over the lathe, bevel the edges, and then we can split them. Okay, well, there's the first one done. Won't make you watch the last ones. Boy. But the way they'll go together is they'll be split right across there and right across there. So the way it goes together, and these will take a little more fitting. Once they're slid, why they'll go on there, and then our rod will go through here. I'll drill a cross hole in here to come out this way, which will rotate whatever, and with a lock screw on this end, and this will be our actual stop that goes up into whatever, up into the vise, wherever we want it. So that's the way it'll look when it's done, hopefully. So I'm going to go ahead, tap these other two out. I'll go and radius the edges on these two parts once I get the other ones tapped, and then we'll take a look at it. In my ultimate wisdom, I managed to snap off a tap in the next hole, so I guess I'm glad I didn't share that with you guys. Anyway, the way this is all going together is, let me get my pieces organized here. So here we've got our pieces going on the back, and it's still, we'll still polish on these and stuff, but this piece will go back here. Like that. And then this is our other piece. And it will go on here just like this. Or it could be flipped the other way. You can do whatever. Actually, I think we want it, okay, these are both going to be adjustable for, I think we probably want it to go like this. We put that on that way. We got this, we'll drill this one, put a lock screw in there once I get a new tap, and then our arm will come out this way. So we can adjust this for wherever we want. We can adjust it for whatever angle we want. And that will be our adjustable stop for now, till we decide we don't like that or we come up with something else. Anyway, that's kind of where we're at for today. I'll have to go and gather up a couple new taps or order a couple of new taps. I'll probably just grab some locally. And enough to finish up this project. We'll contour this end just a little bit to match up. And that will be our little stop for our milling machine. Anyway, as we go along, hopefully you'll find something a little bit useful here. And as always, comment suggestions, leave them in the comment section for me below, guys. And as always, thanks for taking the time to watch.